Well, hi y'all. I'm Alicia. I'm from Florida. Not really sure where the y'all comes from, but I've been at Wake Forest for the last month, so they've been rubbing off on me a little bit. So I just wanted to start by thanking Dr. Grover and the AAMC for letting me come speak today. So we've heard a lot about the numbers, and being an engineer, I love numbers. Numbers are fantastic. They give you a great overview. You have instant data. You can see where things are going. The problem is numbers don't give you the personal stories. So that's what I want to share with you today are some personal stories and experiences from being a medical student. I'm a fourth year. I've submitted my residency applications. Right now I'm doing an away internship. I'm finding out about interviews in the next month. I'll spend a few months traveling around, and then on March 21st, I open up an envelope to find out if I have matched. It's going to be a very scary day. I won't sleep at all the night before, but I'm excited about the process. So I want to talk about one number, and that is the number 528. 528 is the number of American medical students last year that after this whole process, the match and the SOAP, which is a process that you go through if you do not match to try to get you to match, that's the number of us that didn't have a job, and that's really scary. And the people that went through the match last year at my school were actually the students that I started with. I was supposed to match last year, but because I did a year for my Ph.D., I had an extra year to go. So some of my friends did not match last year, and I'd like to share a few stories about that. I will state that some of the stories I'm going to tell you are not necessarily students from my school, and I'm doing that just to protect their privacy, so I won't give too much information away about them. But I'll start with one individual. This individual was the top of our class, brilliant, but he had a great personality, made you laugh. He was the kind of person that you would want to be your doctor. He was also the type of person to score so high on the Step 1 and Step 2 board exams, which help determine whether or not you can go on to the next year medical school and whether or not you can graduate. I didn't even know that they went that high, quite frankly. I did not score that high, so that's really why I'm concerned. So on match day, this person didn't match. Now, they were going into a very competitive field, and they had lots of interviews, and those are things that you have to do. If you're going into a competitive field, you have to make sure that you apply broadly, but he just didn't match. And he went through the supplemental offer and acceptance program called the SOAP, which is where you try to scramble, we used to call it the scramble, and find a place in the week leading up to match. Well, I want to share a couple more numbers with you real quick about what happened last year. Once you don't match into, let's say, a given specialty, and let's say that specialty is full, you start looking at other programs where you think you could be happy. So last year, there were 5 spots left, 5 in the entire country in family medicine, 6 in internal medicine, 2 spots in the entire country for pediatrics, 7 for psychiatry, and then 31 were specialties of everything else combined. And believe me, there's a lot of everything else left. This person was not able to find a program. So what does he do? He could do research for a year. He could leave medicine. He could try to go into something that maybe he isn't as passionate about. And I want you to think about that. We spend our whole life training to do a certain type of medicine, and then you get there, you find out you can't do it. It's kind of hard to go into something else that maybe you don't love doing every single day. There's still people, you're still taking care of patients, but it's very different to be doing a type of medicine that you didn't train and prepare for. So this individual had a very difficult decision to make. And to protect his privacy, I will not tell you what he ultimately decided to do, but I will tell you that I did have several friends who had to take that year off, and they're going to be going through the same process again this year. And looking at those numbers, I'm very worried for them. I'm also worried for myself, but I'm worried for them because the second time you go through it, statistically, it's a lot harder. So on the scene today, what's going on? I have a friend who is doing away rotations all over the country, and they said at one of the programs that they went at, they found that the number of residency positions available is actually going to be cut in half. Now that's scary. At a time that we need more physicians than ever, this program is having to downsize. So this is something that we really need to be talking about. It's extremely significant, and it's already taking place. This is not only do we need to expand, but look, they're already making cuts. We need to be aware of this situation. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself and the decision of what residency I'm hoping to go into. And part of that is so that you can understand how this shortage affects a variety of fields. So the first decision you make in med school about what you're going to do for the rest of your life, I think, starts with the following question. Do you like being in the OR? or do you not like being in the OR? Now, for the most part, the first day, everyone loves it. It's a lot of fun. 2 months later, when you haven't slept, you haven't eaten, and you have learned to control your bladder in ways that you wouldn't imagine, you decide whether or not you want to be a surgeon. So I decided, yes, I want to do surgery. The next step is deciding what type of surgery. Well, ultimately, I have decided I wanted to do plastic surgery. So plastic and reconstructive surgery. Most people think of like the 90210 type of surgery. I want to give you the real deal. This is what we do as residents and as medical students. When you go into the hospital, you're not doing facelifts. You're doing burn. You're doing trauma. Last week, I was in the hospital and we had a patient that had 7 bullets in their body. Plastic and reconstructive surgery was called to help them. I'm in the lightning capital of the world. I see a lot of people that have burn injuries all over their body. We're the people that come to help them. Graduate medical education allows us to have trauma centers. It allows us to have research. It allows us to take care of HIV patients that other hospitals would not take care of. We have to have residents in the hospitals to do this. If we don't have those residents, we're not going to be able to take care of those people. So I'm here today to talk to you not as a Democrat or a Republican. I'm here to talk to you as someone that is pro-medicine. And I think that's something that everyone in this room can say that they want to be a part of. Now, when you hear me speak, you might think, oh gosh, she's just here because she wants to have a job. Well, quite frankly, I could go into engineering or a variety of other fields with my MD degree. But I'm here because I want to help my patients. But if I don't have a job in a residency program, it's impossible for me to do that. We need to increase the number of residency positions so that our patients can have doctors. Several years ago, people started turning 65. And what happens when you turn 65? You get sick. My parents are now in that age group, and my mom is actually in the hospital right now. And as she gets older, she has to see a variety of specialists. When we talk about the physician shortage, I think we focus a lot on primary care, and primary care is 100% essential. You have to have someone that is coordinating your care. But you also have to have specialists. And as the numbers showed, 50% of the shortage, it's in specialties. Specialties like cardiology, plastic and reconstructive surgery. All of these are essential. Let's say a patient goes to the doctor in Florida. There's a lot of sun in Florida. They got this lesion on their arm. They say, hey, can you check this out? Primary care physician says, yeah, that doesn't look so good. Let me refer you to a dermatologist. Dermatologist takes a biopsy. It's melanoma. You're going to have surgery. They get referred to a plastic and reconstructive surgeon. Melanoma, you might have to take out not only skin, but people's muscle, people's bones. You have to reconstruct their entire body so that they don't die. Not having specialists, it's not solving the problem. You have to look at it from both the primary care perspective and the specialty perspective. There's a shortage of both. So we talked about several of the bills that are around, and I would encourage you to look into them. But most importantly, do everything you can to get the message out there. There are not enough doctors, and we have a solution, and we've already started working on it. The problem is people like me are not going to be able to have a job to help treat these patients. So we're depending on all of you to get this message out there and to help save graduate medical education. Thank you.